Welcome to Herdley, where books turn into 3 stories, refreshing your knowledge in minutes. Today we study together Rob Eastaway's book, Much Ado About Numbers, Shakespeare's mathematical life and times, in which we probe into the intriguing intersection of Shakespeare's world and the mathematical concepts that shaped his era. Rob Eastaway is the director of Maths Enlightenment, an interactive lecture program that has engaged more than 250,000 UK teenagers over the past 2 decades. Don't go away. Herdley, the editor, will be right back with the story. In this section, we'll delve into 3 compelling stories that highlight the fascinating intersection between Shakespeare's world and the mathematical ideas of his time. These stories include a playful use of numbers in a famous Shakespearean play, the emergence of a revolutionary concept in mathematics, and a tale of secret codes hidden in plain sight. Let's explore these stories to see how deeply intertwined Shakespeare's work was with the mathematical innovations of his era. Story 1. The Poetry of Numbers. In the world of Shakespeare, numbers were more than just a tool for counting. They were a source of poetic inspiration. One of the most fascinating examples of this can be found in the play Othello. Shakespeare uses numbers in an imaginative way, reflecting the mathematical curiosity of the time. In Act 3, Scene 4, Bianca laments that her lover, Cassio, has been away for a week, and she expresses the passage of time not just in days, but in hours. She says, "What? Keep a week away? 7 days and nights? 8 hours?" This might seem like a simple expression of frustration, but it's actually a clever use of mental arithmetic. Shakespeare, through Bianca, is letting the audience know that there are 168 hours in a week. The phrase 8 hours breaks down to 8x20 plus 8, or 168 hours. In a time when precise timekeeping was not as common, this shows a playful and calculated use of numbers to add depth to the character's emotions. It also reflects the mathematical ideas circulating during Shakespeare's life, where numbers and their manipulation were becoming more widely appreciated beyond just practical uses. Story 2. The Zero Revolution. During Shakespeare's lifetime, Europe was in the midst of one of the most profound mathematical revolutions, the adoption of the Arabic numeral system, which included the concept of zero. This was not just a change in how people wrote numbers, it was a fundamental shift in how they thought about mathematics and its role in the world. In the prologue to Henry V, Shakespeare makes a subtle yet powerful reference to this shift. The chorus asks the audience to imagine the small troop of actors as a mighty army, saying, "Oh, pardon, since a crooked figure may attest in little place 1,000,000, and let us, ciphers to this great account, on your imaginary forces work." Here, the crooked figure refers to the digit 1, and the ciphers are zeros, suggesting that a small group can appear vast when imagined as a larger number, much like how the digit 1 becomes 1,000,000 when followed by 6 zeros. This metaphor not only enhances the drama of the scene, but also reflects the mathematical revolution of the time. The concept of zero was still novel, and its inclusion in Shakespeare's work underscores the growing influence of this idea in English society. Story 3. Codes and Conspiracy. The use of numbers in Shakespeare's time wasn't limited to poetry or arithmetic. It also played a role in the murky world of espionage and secret codes. One of the most intriguing examples of this is the use of numerology and cipher systems to hide messages within texts, a practice that was as much a part of the Renaissance as the plays themselves. Shakespeare's works, especially Love's Labour's Lost, are rife with acrostics and wordplay, but one of the most interesting stories comes from the use of ciphers to convey hidden meanings. In the play Hamlet, for instance, there's a reference to a cipher. Doubt thou the stars are fire, doubt that the sun doth move, doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love. While this might seem like a simple love letter, some scholars believe it's an example of Shakespeare embedding a cipher within the text. Ciphers were often used by Elizabethan courtiers and spies to send secret messages, and the inclusion of such a reference in Shakespeare's work suggests a deeper awareness of, and perhaps even participation in, the secretive practices of his time. Conclusion. These stories illustrate how deeply Shakespeare's work was intertwined with the mathematical ideas and innovations of his time. Whether through the poetic use of numbers, the revolutionary concept of zero, or the secretive use of ciphers, Shakespeare's world was one where mathematics was beginning to influence all areas of life, from art to politics. As the editor of Herdley, by learning these connections, we can start to appreciate the hidden layers of logic and innovation that shape our creative and intellectual pursuits, leading to a future where we might decode the world in ways we never imagined. In revisiting our key point, it's clear that Shakespeare's world was intricately connected to the mathematical concepts emerging in his time. These connections were not just abstract ideas, but were woven into the fabric of his plays, enriching the narrative with layers of meaning that continue to captivate us today. One particularly striking story that stands apart is found in The Winter's Tale. In this play, the character Autolycus, a roguish peddler and pickpocket, engages in a form of mathematical trickery. As he cheats and swindles his way through the market, Autolycus uses his quick wit and a sharp understanding of basic arithmetic to deceive others. His ability to manipulate numbers, albeit for dishonest purposes, highlights how mathematics was not just a scholarly pursuit, but also a tool for everyday life, even in less than noble contexts. This story shows how Shakespeare recognized the power of numbers, both in high society and in the hands of common folk, reflecting the broader societal shift towards numerical literacy. As we've seen throughout these examples, Shakespeare's engagement with mathematics was not merely coincidental. It was a reflection of the changing world around him. His plays capture the spirit of an age where numbers began to hold more sway, influencing everything from trade to poetry. By exploring these intersections, we gain a richer understanding of both Shakespeare's work and the era that shaped it.